Yeah, it's your boy Maserati, man, aka 50 States. Wow. Yeah. Uh-huh. Nowadays, you gotta watch out who you be around.
Okay. Pure white, Peruvian, take flight, ride the wind, long nights, getting it in. Is this the life of a hooligan? Ninjas on the street, they're trying to avoid the chalk. Talk it out, maybe after let the heat spark. Gunshots, bury victims in the dirt quick. Circle of death, calling it the work shift. Mind blown, mind gone. Just took a life he don't care about his own. But this is what
27 Club.
All right, gang, let's really nail it this time. Here we go. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Call it a name, that's my mafia twin for Jordan Downs. Raise a finger, that's on gorillas, bitches going down. You politicking on instant, I'm out loading rounds. Smoke his brother, smoking his brother, now we in the cloud. Played our freestyle in the courtroom, Brody lost his trial. Doing dope all around the kid, so she lost her child. See, this mafia way of living, it's just our life. It ain't no waiting, I'm impatient, let's get busy right now, okay? Diamonds dancing, it's off a lick, I like to rob people. Keep it on me, unfortunately, I done shot people. Not legal, nigga, I'm a spinner, we are not equal, non-lethal. John Cena the poor, I could not see. Long live to leave it. Hood boy was quick to squeeze a trigger. If your son ever hungry, doggy, I'll kill for that nigga. I'll die for the street that I post on with my killers. That is not my baby. Lately I've been focused on Skrilla. I can't tell you what, just know the code word is DJing. That's a highlight play, buddy. We gon' replay it. Well known gorillas from my city, they know we famous. You ain't talking no money, get in line and keep waiting, keep hating. I promise it's coming, little Larry, be patient. I had to cut this bitch off, she got feelings attached. I'll burn this motherfucker down to the ground, to the building collapse. Don't listen to your music, that shit weak and I'm blowing this cap.
So let's get into some. So as some of these emails has been released, this one of these particular emails saying that your boy Trump did what to Bill Clinton. Let's get to it.
Not Donald Trump putting the head in head of state. What? What? What do you mean? There is an email between Jeffrey Epstein and his brother where it says, ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump. What? And before MAGA comes in here and says that cannot be true, I would like to remind you of something.
Hey, this is allegedly. This is allegedly. I don't want YouTube tripping on. But yeah, it's allegedly. Epstein put out some email asking what's up with the footage of Trump giving Bill Clinton a blowjob.
That Caroline Levitt said just the other day.
Again, it's not a coincidence to the American people at home. There are no coincidences in Washington, D.C. And it
is no coincidence that Donald Trump wants to get rid of the filibuster. He's already filled with Bill busting in his mouth. There are no coincidences in Washington, D.C. So it is no coincidence that he wanted to lock her up so bad. He wanted Bubba all to himself. It is no coincidence that Donald Trump did this a year ago to the day.
I come in, and here's the problem. I said, oh man, it's too low. I said,
oh, wow. Y'all remember when he did that?
Coincidence that he wants to build a ballroom so bad.
It's no coincidence that they tried distracting us by saying everything Donald Trump has ever said was locker room talk. Meanwhile, it was Russian bathhouse action the whole time. It is no coincidence that Donald Trump says he is the best at the bob and weave. What? Vladdy, release the pictures. For the love of God, release the picture.
Hey, that's crazy. Hey, did Donald Trump blow Bill Clinton? Jesse Dollars, man. That's funny too.
Donald Trump has brought a lot of joy to many, many people. Who knew that some of that joy that had been brought to people would end up being Bill Clinton? This entire Donald Trump blue Bill Clinton saga that has begun brings me much joy, I'll tell you that. Who knew? Let me also say this. That when I was a young boy and Ronald Reagan was president, I never imagined that I would grow up to be this man talking about politics in this day and age. And in that day and age, I might have to bleep myself when talking about the current president of the United States sucking the of a previous president of the United States. And that is exactly where we are in this country right now. Donald Trump has dragged us into the gutter, both rhetorically and politically and culturally and economically, morally, ethically. Have I already said those? I mean, come on. So this is what this is all about. If you don't know, I had somebody email me or text me. A buddy texted me yesterday. And I've been seeing this all over the time. What is this? Where is this from? And now I have the email that was in the pile, the tranche of emails from the Epstein's estate.
He's grabbing his crotch, by the way. That's a picture of Donald Trump grabbing Bill Clinton's crotch. Look, they both look happy as a motherfucker. Happy as a bar. It looked like he just got through doing a round of golf. He's like, oh, Bill, what's going on, Bubba? How's Bubba doing? This is crazy.
And this is exactly what this is. It's an interaction, an email exchange between Mark Epstein, the brother of Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein, in which he asks the question, does Putin have the photo of Trump blowing Bubba? Not, does he have a photo? Does he have a photo of that? No, does he have the photo? Does he have the photo? Meaning there's a photo. They know there's a photo. Does Putin have it? Wow. So I'm going to go through this. I've outlined it so it's easier to read for myself because it's reading from bottom to top. We'll put the email on the screen here. Again, this is March 2018, an email exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and his brother, Mark. This is Mark Epstein to Jeffrey. How are you doing? A while back, you mentioned that you were pre-diabetic. Has anything changed with that? What is your boy Donald up to now? Jeffrey Epstein replies, all good. Bannon with me. I'm assuming that's a reference to Steve Bannon. Mark Epstein replies, ask him if Putin has the photos, photos, plural, more than one. Ask him if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba.
Bubba.
Man, I wouldn't put it past, man, these politicians, all these higher Illuminati type, man, they into that real freaky deaky shit, man. I wouldn't put it past. Y'all really surprised me.
Now, this would seem outlandish. Donald Trump would never, the alpha man, the mighty masculine man, the straight, notably virile dude would never put himself in a position to be sucking the of Bill Clinton.
Behind them closed doors, man, that nigga probably dressed up in a French maid outfit waiting to get probed by Bill Clinton. Maybe that's a ritual, how they transferred the power. You know, like Highlander, it can only be one, and he had to transfer the power into Bill. Bill had to, Trump had to suck out the power from Bill.
Also, we'll wait for that. Wait, there's not like video evidence of Donald Trump being weird with a microphone, is there? I guess there is video evidence of Donald Trump being weird with a microphone, broadcasting to the world his fellatio skills, I guess. I guess Bill Clinton wasn't available during that rally, so he had to substitute the microphone. Anyway, the emails go on. I asked if Putin has the photos of Trump blowing Bubba, to which Jeffrey Epstein replies, and I thought I had Surus. Now, I had to look up what Surus is for all of my understanding of the English language. There are many, many, many thousands of words that I don't know, and Surus is one of them. Apparently, it means trouble or distress. This is from Merriam-Webster. And I thought I had troubles or problems, is what Jeffrey Epstein says there. To which Mark Epstein replies, you and your boy Donnie can make a remake of the movie Get Hard. Jeffrey Epstein replies, you don't mean, or you mean Donnie T, meaning Donald J. Trump, current, and at the time, actually, President of the United States of America. To which Mark Epstein replies, I'd rather be in Donnie D's shoes. I don't know exactly which Donald or Don D they're talking about. But look, what do you think? Do you think there's actually a chance that Donald Trump actually got down on the of Bill Clinton?
This is crazy, bro. This is all this. We don't have nothing to do with this. We just play the content come across our desk. Hey, so let me ask you a question, man, about Trump, his cabinet, the MAGAs, and you know how they continue to tear the fabric of America, and the working man is pretty much, as far as the working class is low. So being a middle class, that seems don't exist anymore. So all the working people are going through it, struggling. But the millionaires, the billionaires in this country, they're living the best life over and over again. We got it was Dave Kirkpatrick from the New Yorker. How much money is Trump profiting from the presidency? And I'm saying this. I always said this ever since his first term. It's just a race to cash in. They're robbing America. Took the pregnant presidency, my bad, and pretty much treated like a cash cow. You know what I'm saying? Just straight up the bank. Coming with these false promises, promises not doing what he says he's gonna do. Inflation is high. It's so out of what these people voted for him for. But this is what's been going on behind closed doors.
Staff writer for the New Yorker magazine. No one I talked to could put a figure on it. No one could tell me just how much he made. And at the same time, I was increasingly puzzled that more people didn't seem to care, that the public more or less was shrugging at the way the Trump family was monetizing the presidency. So I set out to try to come up with a number, to try to count for myself how much money the Trump family was making more or less off the presidency, money that in some way depended on his status as president. The problem of a potential conflict of interest posed for President Trump because of his business interests has been there from the beginning. Around the time that he began preparing to run for office, around 2015, The Apprentice was well off the air. The Celebrity Apprentice, its kind of gimmicky successor, was also dwindling in the ratings.
Seeking those who aren't done making medicine until every dose.
There's some evidence to suggest that he needed something new to keep his name in the public eye. As part of the backlash against him, a number of people brought lawsuits. He now owes $500 million or so to the state of New York because of their fraud case against him.
We did nothing wrong. There were no victims. The bank loves us. The bank testified.
And he owes another $88 million or so to E. Jean Carroll, the writer who sued him for defamation and sexual assault years ago. So arguably, he was really in kind of a tight place when he went into the presidency the first time, and a much tighter place the next time. I was personally astonished to see just how much his financial position has improved just 6 months after he came back into the White House. The obvious place to start was Mar-a-Lago. Trump is the first president to sell access to himself and his inner circle for personal profits. That is, this is a private club that people pay to join, and what they get is a chance to mingle with Trump and his friends. Before he first won election, the initiation fee to join the club was $100.
So why would y'all not think he would not turn this and have this in the White House? Like you say, these rich people come together to buy into get a piece of the rock. I mean, to me personally, they know how this country is going to end up. And you got money, you're rich, you're powerful in the country. You done made your millions. You done got as far as the American dream. But you can't obtain the American dream being a good tuition. You have to be able to be a criminal. You have to be able to go across the line and break rules, break laws that maybe somebody with morals, integrity ain't gonna do it. And you got to put a whole spin on it, put a pleasant face on it to people, to dealing with these type of folks.
$100,000. As of last fall, it was poised to go up to $1 million. Doing a little bit of math based on the revenue disclosure forms and the costs over time, I concluded that he had made.
So it was like 100,000 to $1 million to buy into those clubs, those societies.
About 125 million in extra profits in Mar-a-Lago because of his presidencies. After that, I looked at his campaign fundraising. Now, campaign fundraising is generally a whole different thing. Laws restrict candidates or politicians from using that money for personal purposes. In Trump's case, those boundaries are a little bit fuzzier. For one thing, he quite conspicuously sells what looks like campaign merchandise through his personal online store. If you're a Trump supporter, you might really believe you're supporting the MAGA movement and its causes when you buy this stuff, but in fact, the money is actually going to the Trump organization and to Donald Trump. We're talking about things like a Gulf of America baseball hat, $50, a pair of Trump beer koozies, $18, Trump flip-flops, $40. In the last year, he's actually branched out from selling the merchandise through the store to a couple of special lines of products, and that includes $2.8 million from Trump watches, $2.5 million from, quote, sneakers and fragrances, and $3 million from an illustrated book called Save America, as well as $1.3 million from the God Bless the USA Bible, also known as the Trump Bible. So all of that came to 27 points.
He's selling his own Bible, high-top sneakers, coffee mugs, pins, his own Trump watch, Save America. I mean, what he's doing is something that if you have a celebrity or you have somebody, that you're trying to promote, that's what you do. They have like merch. Rappers, they used to. Rappers used to have like their merch, posters, bumper stickers, t-shirts, tees, jumpsuits, whatever, right? Now, he's took it on a whole new level. He like, I got a lot of folks that fuck with me. They fucking with my movement. We got MAGA maniacs out there. I might as well cash in on these niggas. That's what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna put these items up and get this merch going. Live in a capitalist country. What you expect, right?
7 million. In some ways, this is almost like a fashion designer setting up a table in front of a department store to sell knockoffs of their own goods at the expense of their shareholders. So that came to about more than $17 million in income over the last several years. Now, on top of that, there's another way that Trump has found, and that is his legal fees. A political campaign fund for a candidate can't spend money on personal legal fees. But he discovered that if he converted a campaign fund into a political action committee, it could. And he's used his political action committee to cover more than $100 million in personal legal fees. So all in all, I'm going to call that a total of about $127.7 million in enrichment through those campaign funds, either in merch or legal fees. Next, I looked at the DC Hotel, the Trump International Hotel in Washington, which during his first term was really the biggest subject of allegations of corruption or financial enrichment.
This is the most coveted piece of real estate in Washington, D.C., the best location.
What I found there was, all in all, those allegations were overblown. Really, in retrospect, it looks like the Trump Association drove away as many people as it attracted. As much as some people might have gone there to show their support for Trump, an equal number of people probably stayed away because they didn't want to get caught up in an influence scandal, or they didn't like the president. It now turns out that after Trump sold the hotel, it's ultimately done better as a Waldorf Astoria. So I concluded that spending at his hotels by government agencies or by influence seekers looking to curry favor probably came out to be a wash. The amount of money he made from that is probably zero. Next, I turn to the Persian Gulf. The Persian Gulf has been a key locus for a lot of the Trump moneymaking. In retrospect, the Persian Gulf always posed a kind of ethical challenge and financial opportunity.
You think Biden would be doing it? I don't think so.
The first member of the Trump family who seems to have taken advantage of this was Jared Kushner, who was Trump's Middle East envoy in his first term. Shortly after Trump left the White House in 2021, Jared Kushner was back over in Saudi Arabia soliciting investments for a new private equity firm he'd founded, Affinity Partners. The Saudi Sovereign Wealth Fund, the public investment fund, has a panel of esteemed experts that it calls on to give advice about new investments. They said unanimously that he had no experience in private equity, no track record. They were overruled. The Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Salman, decided to go ahead anyway. And so the Saudis put in $2 billion. Kushner continued to raise money almost exclusively from foreign sources. By the end of last year, he brought in a total of $4.8 billion in assets under management. Quite a bit of that also from the United Arab Emirates and the Qataris. Just from management fees, he would earn the equivalent right now of $320 million over the next 10 years. Then I turn to some of the real estate deals the Trump family has recently done in the Persian Gulf. Despite a lot of effort over the years, the Trumps have only managed to land one deal in the high-dollar Persian Gulf. There's a golf course in Dubai that pays the Trumps to license their name and a management fee. And that's been very lucrative for them over the years. Now, they signed that deal before he first went into the White House, so I'm not going to count that, but it provided a sort of benchmark to try to figure out what he made from some of the other deals. And in the last couple of years, those have come hot and heavy. In late 2022, after Trump was already pretty much the presumptive Republican presidential nominee, he signed an anomalous new deal with a Saudi company called Dar Al Arkan to build a vast new project in Oman, in Muscat. And that was followed, after he was elected, by no fewer than 4 other deals with the same Saudi company in Dubai, Jeddah, Riyadh, and Doha. Some of those are 10-year deals, some of those are 30-year deals, but I calculated that the present value of all that money comes out to $105.8 million. A lot of attention has been paid to Trump's announcement a few months ago.
That's what I'm saying, bro. That's why they fuck with him. Because they know they're going to keep on getting money with this thing. Keep on getting to the bag. On the backs of the American people. But these foreign dictators and diplomats, shit, man, he's making a killing. They making money. He's, to the American people, he's lying. Don't worry about it. I know what to say. Don't worry about it. You know, these gifts that he's been receiving, it's like doing too much, but yeah, I still accept the gift. You know, so it's, to me, I would say he's definitely a crook. Definitely a criminal. He's a felon. But y'all voted for him. But Trump said, man, look, man, these tariffs, they're working. Trust me, they're working. So with that, I'm going to give y'all $2,000. This is the plan to pay out. Let's get to that. Let's see what this is all about.
Most Americans a $2,000 tariff dividend check. The White House says President Trump is committed to sending most Americans a $2,000 tariff dividend check. Trump proposed the policy on social media, saying dividends would be paid to everyone except, quote, high-income people. Earlier this week, the Treasury Secretary cast doubt on the payments, saying dividends may come in lots of forms. Now the White House says the president has made clear he wants the payments to happen, and his team of economic advisors are looking into it. Business reporter Alexis Christoforous is here for more on that. So, Alexis, who would be eligible for this payment, and how would it work?
Great questions. We don't know. We just don't know. In short, they're very short here on details. We know that President Trump has said he wants these checks to go to high-income earners. What do they define as high-income earners? We don't know.
Everyone but high-income earners, right?
Everybody but, yes. I don't know if I said that, but yeah, everybody but high-income earners. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was on ABC News, and he said, look, this can take many different forms. He said maybe it would take the form of a tax cut. It's hard to really equate a dividend check with a tax cut, but the White House says they're exploring all legal options to get this done, and we do not have a timeline. We also don't know, would these checks be going to just adults or to children? Are they going to all Americans? Lots of questions.
A policy expert at the Tax Foundation estimates that this would cost $300 billion. The Committee for Responsible Federal Budget says about $600 billion. The Treasury Department says President Trump's tariffs have yielded about $195 billion in revenue. So how is this math working out?
It's not working out, in short. I mean, you're right. The Tax Foundation did do the math.
Say that again. How is this working out?
How is this math working out?
It's not working out, in short. I mean, you're right. The Tax Foundation did do the math on this. What they did is they took 150 million adult recipients, if we're using $100,000 as what defines a high-income earner. So those earning less than $100,000 a year would be 150 million adults. If you times that by the 2,000 checks, you get $300 billion, which is more than the government has taken in these tariffs. So again, we don't know what form this will take. If it's going to happen at all, it would need congressional approval. And it's also not the first time the president has promised these checks. Remember when Elon Musk headed up the DOJ department within the government and was cutting federal workers? He said, all of the money we're saving from there can be given back to Americans. And we see that never happen. So in short, don't run out and spend $2,000 on your credit card thinking you're getting it from the government, because we don't know yet.
All right. The U.S. Mint also made its final penny this week.
Yes.
So what does no more pennies in circulation mean for shoppers and for businesses?
After 232 years of production, no more pennies being made now, but there are still 250 billion of them in circulation. So pennies are not going away. What this means for restaurants, for retailers, for us when we shop is you can still use it. It's still legal tender. But most places will be rounding up to the closest nickel. By the way, it takes about 3.7 cents to make 1 penny. So obviously a lot more than the face value of a penny.
But the nickel, same thing, right? It costs more to make a nickel,
more, right? So
more than 5 cents.
Perhaps that's the next coin to go away.
All right, we'll be watching.
You hear that? That'll be the next coin to go away. Coins and paper money is eventually going away. Digital, cryptocurrency, finding other ways to get this money into circulation. Fact check. Let's see what the fact check is saying about this $2,000 proposal. I'm going to get to this next video.
In a post on Truth Social, President Trump said he planned on giving all American citizens, aside from high-income earners, a dividend. Let's go to Emma Withrow from the fact check team. Any indication who specifically would qualify for these bonuses?
So there hasn't been like an official plan released or anything. All we've seen was that one post from Truth Social from President Trump. And we don't really know who he considers to be high income. But what we do know is that he plans to use money generated by the tariffs to dish out these bonus checks, or as he's calling them, dividends. And he said the checks would be about $2,000 a pop. Also, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told Fox News that the dividend could come in lots of different forms, lots of different ways. So maybe we could even see certain tax cuts, but there's also the possibility they could be like that stimulus check that we saw.
Still remains to be seen. But yeah, that definitely came to mind. When we're looking at whether these tariffs have generated enough revenue to pay for all of these dividends, what is this
The president about to give out $2,000. Shit, I ain't vote for him, but fuck it. If we're going to give out $2 grand, I'm taking it, right? I'm taking it. I don't give a fuck. And that's how most people's attitude, at least in urban areas and low income areas. It's all about that bag. That $2,000 they can get, however they're going to dish it out, and everybody's not going to get it.
Look like they would have the money or the means to do that right now, but potentially in the near future. So according to the Committee for a Responsible Budget, the tariffs generated around $195 billion in fiscal year 2025. And according to the U.S. Census, around 173 million Americans made less than $100,000 in 2023. So that would add up to about $346 billion if they were to cut, those $2,000 checks for each of those people. However, the Tax Foundation predicts that the tariffs are going to generate around $1.8 trillion over the next 10 years. So in the future, it seems like there would be enough to cover those $2,000 dividends that Trump is suggesting. We're just going to have to wait and see how it all plays out, especially with the Supreme Court.
Absolutely. That's a good point. Emma, thank you so much. A little later on, Emma will be back to dig into the legality of dividends being distributed to the American people and whether it's ever been done before. President Trump is framing his tariff plan like a business deal, and he's telling Americans they're the shareholders. He says every citizen will get a $2,000 dividend paid out from the money generated by those tariffs. Let's go to Emma Withrow from the fact check team. And earlier, you were discussing how these checks for low and middle income Americans, that would add up to about $346 billion.
Yeah.
What about Congress? What's the role here of them?
So Congress obviously has the power of the purse, but things have gotten a little bit tricky with this new administration and the ways that laws are interpreted. Hence, the Supreme Court having to decide whether these tariffs were legal in the first place. Regardless of all of that, though, under current law, tariff money goes into the U.S. Treasury's general fund. It's treated like any other tax revenue. So to turn that into direct payments, Congress would have to pass legislation authorizing those dividends, just like lawmakers did for the, those stimulus checks that we all got in 2020.
Absolutely. That definitely came to mind. But this idea specifically, has this ever been done in American history?
From the research that I did today, it doesn't seem like this specifically has been done, but there have been times that the feds returned money to the public, but it was always almost through Congress. So the closest parallels would be those COVID stimulus checks, also the tax rebates in 2001 and also 2008, those economic stimulus payments that happened. The only true dividend model in the U.S. exists actually at the state level in Alaska, where oil revenues from state-owned lands are invested and then paid out to residents through this Alaska Permanent Dividend Fund, which I thought was really interesting.
That is an interesting potential connection. We'll see how far this goes. Emma, thank you so much. And for more on this fact check team topic, including links to their sources, scan the QR code or visit thenationaldesk.com.
FirstFanRadio.com. 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 FirstFanRadio.com.